Cardinals Corner from Arizona Sports.
Cardinals Corner from Arizona Sports with Tyler Drake and Lauren Koval.
What's going on, everybody? Tyler Drake here with Cardinals Corner alongside my trusty co-host, Lauren Koval, once again. But we've got a special one for you guys this week as Bernhard Seikovits is in the building with us today. Seiko, how you doing, man? How's the offseason going? And thank you for joining us.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you for having me. Offseason is going great so far. Taking a little time off, but getting back into it right now.
What's been the activity of choice being away from football? What's been the go-to thing?
Not too productive. I played a lot of video games, spent a lot of time with my girlfriend who is here. So yeah, not a lot going on the first couple of weeks after the season ended for us. But now just going back to lifting and, doing more productive stuff.
Okay. What's the video game of choice?
Call of Duty.
Oh, okay. You get on there with Kyler at all?
No.
I heard he's pretty good.
I heard so too, yeah.
Do you have any hobbies outside of football?
Yeah, not too much. I like cooking sometimes and just doing stuff with my hands. Like I would build stuff when I'm back home over here, not too much because there's not too much time. But yeah, I like to do any sport like climbing or hiking. I do like activities, all of them, but yeah, no, like I'm not a musical talent or, nothing crazy.
That's good. That's good. Is there anything that you're looking forward to this offseason?
As far as
your own growth on or off the field?
Well, obviously I want to get bigger, faster, stronger, and become a more dominant football player. But outside of football, I haven't set any big goals for myself. I want to stay a happy person, live a happy life, have a good relationship with my girlfriend, with my family, all that good stuff. But yeah, most of my goal setting happens in football.
Nice. What you talked about getting outdoors stuff. Have you hiked Camelback or anything like that?
Yeah, for sure. That's usually like if ever I get visited from someone back home, I take them up there. Some of them like it, some of them don't, because it kind of takes you by surprise. Yeah. Like you're used to the mountains back home, which are way taller than Camelback, but the hike is way different because Camelback is so steep. Yeah. So it's like 0 to 100 super quick, and back home it's more gradual. Yeah. So yeah. Even though they're experienced hikers, some of them get caught by surprise.
Where are some of the places you like to take people that come visit?
So usually people are not here longer than a week. So you do, I think, the typical, I take them to Top Golf, okay. Hike Camelback, okay. Sometimes take them to a shooting range because that's an American thing, Yeah, those 3: football game, basketball games, stuff like that. Stuff like that. And maybe 1 or 2 places to eat.
Okay.
Yeah.
You've been over here a few years now. Is there anything that still gives you culture shock?
No, I would not say so. Or at least I don't think so. I couldn't think of anything at the top of my head right now, but no, also at the beginning, I feel like I never had like a culture shock. I think the biggest shock I had was just when it comes to football, how big everything is, how important everything is over here, how much attention sports in general, but football also get over here. I think that was the biggest difference. But living in a city and stuff like that, that's what I'm used to. I come from a bigger city than Phoenix, so that wasn't a real big shock for me. Yeah, maybe just the language, obviously. Yeah. There was some getting used to, and because it's still different whenever you learn something in school and then you actually have to speak it with humans. Mm-hmm. And also like topics you don't really learn. Like I struggled super hard when I talked about regular stuff like food and stuff, because I never learned how to say stuff in English. You learn how to ask like, how are you? I'm good, like, and learn how to write stuff. But yeah, so I'd say language and sports is the biggest.
It's been, this is 4th year now?
Mm-hmm.
How has that ride been for you? I know obviously you haven't got in there for a regular season game yet. You have some preseason action, but how have you managed to, I guess, just balance the continuing need to get better, but also maybe harbor some of that frustration that maybe you're not getting those looks in a game?
Yeah, well, it's tough, obviously, because you sacrifice a lot to be here, and obviously I know I can say I'm blessed to be here, and there's a lot of people back home that want to be in my situation, so you can never complain when you're in a situation like this. But also on the other hand, you, as I said, sacrifice so much, and obviously deep inside you know that you can do it just as well as anybody else. Mm-hmm. So you want to get the opportunity and stuff like that, but you also know that it's a journey and it's a road you have to kind of be patient on. Yeah. So it's a back and forth in my head, you know, like sometimes when you have good days, it's like, oh, this is like I'm on the right track, and then sometimes it's just a lower feeling. But yeah, it's been a ride. It's been a journey. I'm trying to do the best I can, and that's really all I can do, so that whenever the opportunity comes, I'm ready.
You came to the Cardinals via the International Player Pathway program. For people who don't know what that is, how would you describe that?
I would say it's an organization put in by the NFL in order to have more people from all around the world playing the sport in the biggest league. There's probably marketing behind it, but also there's like the people I know from the IPP, they're just focused on having the best people from around the world in the leagues so they can make it, and like Jakob Johnson, Efe Obada, like there's a couple of guys that made it through this program and are huge role models back home. So that's really the main purpose of this thing, to improve or get more people to play the sport outside of the US. But yeah, it's basically you get invited. It's like this year it's 16 people that got invited to IMG Academy. They're right now practicing, and you have a 3-month training camp basically, where you do drills. You have your coaches. Some people never played football, so they get their first helmet and shoulder pads and stuff to see what it feels like. And then after that, in my case, we went to Florida University and did our pro day with them. And then it's on the teams to decide which one they want to take out of the however many people there are in this year, and then they get allocated to a team. I think it's going to be different from now on, because I think the rules changed a little bit, but I'm not too sure on that. But that's how it was with me. I got allocated to the Cardinals, and they had this international spot for 3 years, which just ended. So yeah, they basically give them a time to learn, adjust, because most of them didn't play college football, so it's a big transition for them. And yeah, the idea is to give them some time to learn and then translate into being a regular NFL player.
Yeah, and you're back on a futures deal. But yeah, the International Player Pathway program, if I say it all right. Yeah, it just changed to now they opened up another practice squad spot, I believe. Mm-hmm. So it just seems like there's more of a chance for you now to potentially get elevated, whereas these past 3 years, it seemed like there was a lot of steps you had to go through to potentially get to that active roster. Am I wrong there?
Yeah, the way I understood it is that you have to clear waivers for 3 weeks or something like that. So really unrealistic that if someone gets injured, that they're gonna put you on waivers for 3 weeks and then say, oh, in 3 weeks you're gonna be in the active. Because we have an injured player. But now I think it's supposed to work just like any other practice roster. Cool. And you can get elevated whenever, and whenever they need you.
Have you had anybody that is maybe going through it this year talk to you maybe for some tips or anything? or has anybody in the past that's gone through the program?
With the change in how the roster spot works?
No, just in general with the pathway program in itself, just knowing that you've been on a team for 3 years and maybe trying to pick your brain a little bit.
Oh yeah, for sure. In general, we are all like a family, I would say, because we're like, everybody comes from a different place, but in a way we're all the same that go through this IPP. Like, some people went to college, some people didn't. But we're all kind of trying to prove something here, because all of them got rejected or denied at some point. For example, Jakob Johnson, he played for Tennessee 5 years, and then he didn't get drafted or anything. Went back to Germany, came through the IPP, and now he's playing in the league, you know. So we all have that chip on our shoulder, and we all trying to prove something together. So it's whenever you have questions, you can ask one of the guys, and they're usually happy to talk to you.
And what made you want to leave Austria and come play football in the States?
The NFL is the best league you can play football in. I never really thought I'm gonna be over here playing football. I grew up playing quarterback, then changed to receiver, and now I ended up as a tight end. So I had a lot of change in my career back home. So college football was never any real possibility, because I never really played a position long enough to be like, hey, I play this position. Do you need me? So yeah, I kind of had this scratched off my list, and then IPP came along, and obviously I want to prove that I can play in the highest league, and I want to prove that there's a lot more people back home that can do that. So yeah, it's more like you have to come over here to do those kind of things, because back home the football is just not the same.
And what are some of the biggest changes from playing football in Austria versus here in the States?
Obviously, there's way more people playing the sport over here, so coaches or organizations have a much broader range of athletes to pick from. Back home, if you run a 4.3, you are the god. But because like back home, people rather play soccer, because like other sports where they can earn more money. But over here, if you're on a 4.3, you're probably a premier athlete, but it doesn't mean that you're going to get to the NFL, because there's so many other people. So I think that's obviously a big change, the size and speed of people. But I would say the biggest difference is just the years of competition everyone over here had against premier athletes and against good coaching. So I think that's what we have to kind of close the gap, because we do have good athletes. Obviously, like, humans are the same everywhere. Everybody can have good athletes, but like the coaching and experience level, competition level, just has to come closer to America.
Mm-hmm.
What drew you to football?
That's actually a funny story. So when I was a kid, I was really undecisive of what I want to do, and my best friend, ever since I can remember, really, his dad grew up in the States, in Florida, because his dad was a cook or something, and he's a huge America fan. He watches baseball all the time, football all the time. Okay. So he put his son into flag football. I was his best friend. I was looking for a sport. I went to flag football. And then after a year, I got bored, and I was like, so this is not the real football, right? And then I went play the real football with the Vienna Vikings, and ever since, I played football.
That's excellent. You just wanted to hit somebody, huh?
Yeah, no, I just wanted to try the real thing out. But then when I got the pads on and the helmets, back home it was, I don't know, probably like the 1970s over here when I started playing football. You had the hard foam helmets and stuff, because we don't have manufacturers back home, so we buy the cheap stuff from over here, because it's super expensive to play football back home, because nobody pays the stuff for you. So my mom was like, so this costs $1,000 right now, so you better play the sport for more than a year. So yeah, and we had those Oklahoma drills and stuff going on. Yeah, so that's how I experienced my first year of football. But it was fun, I guess. Maybe because I was one of the taller ones, it was fun for me. But yeah, that's how it started.
What are some of the fun things to do in Austria? Like, if somebody were to come to you saying, "Hey, I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna go visit," wherever, what would you point them to?
Oof. I mean, Vienna is a big city. I feel like every big city has a ton of stuff to do. I guess it depends on what he wants to do. You can eat really good. You can eat
okay, what's the
Viennese cuisine.
What's the go-to cuisine? Give me the go-to order for you if you're going back home. First meal.
If I were to take you, I would eat something I would not eat every day, or I would not be like, hey, I want to eat this right now. Yeah. Which is called a Stelze. Okay. Which is basically the leg of a pig. Okay. And they fry it all around, so it's really crusty and crispy. And you eat it with like horseradish and stuff. So you don't really have anything else on your plate but the pig leg. So yeah, that's Stelze. That's what we would eat.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And soccer was just not your thing?
Yeah, tried it out.
That was the biggest sport, right?
No, I mean, everybody plays soccer back home. I played it in school until I was 16, 17 with the school team, which was more like fun. Like, we didn't have practice or anything. But in every, like, school break or something, you would play soccer instead of basketball or football. So, yeah, everybody plays it. I enjoyed playing it just when I was growing up. When I was young, 8 or 7, when I first wanted to play soccer. I just didn't like the coach, so I was like, no, Mom, I'm not doing this. And she was like, okay. And then we tried out swimming, basketball, handball. I don't think anybody over here plays handball. But it's big back home. I tried that out, but then I got stuck with football.
Okay.
Wow, that is a plethora of sports you've tried there.
Yeah.
Quite the gambit.
Yeah.
All right. In your time now with the Cardinals, who would you say you've leaned on the most during your journey here?
I think there's like players every year. There's players, especially in the tight end room, that I leaned on. I think the first 2 years, or probably the first year, was Max Williams. Probably always the oldest guy in the room, to be honest. First year, Max Williams. Second year, Zach Ertz. Third year, Jeff Swaim. With Jeff, though, I feel like he was the closest to me, kind of also like how he thinks and how he speaks, how he acts, just as a person. So I think I connected with him the most. And yeah, he was really kind. Like, he doesn't have to do this. He doesn't have to teach me anything, so it's really I appreciate it a lot. And he did it from his heart, I think, and he wanted to teach all of us. And yeah, that's something really valuable, especially for players like me or young players. So yeah, I would say those 3 guys, but I connected the most with Jeff.
Okay. Where do you feel like you've grown the most as a player and just in that span? I mean, obviously there's a lot of guys, a lot of influence you've had. There's 2 coaching regimes now, so I guess, yeah, just where do you think you've grown the most?
I would say blocking for sure. So when I grew up, I played quarterback, as I said, and receiver, so I never had to block anyone, or at least never had to block anyone my size. So when I first came over here, I couldn't block really well, but that's the role I got put in because of the way I look. So that was a struggle my first year, but then my second year I felt like I was getting really good at it, and now I feel comfortable doing it, and I accepted it as my role, even though I always was like, no, I can catch the ball too and stuff like that, but it's something you have to do first in order to get the ball, which is fine, and I enjoy doing it. I enjoy the physical side of it. I enjoy the technical side of it, because I never thought about that before doing it, but it's really technical, detailed, and yeah, it happens so quick, which makes it really interesting, because if you step wrong once, then you probably lost a rep already.
You had one heck of a guy to learn from in Swaim. That was, I mean, that dude's a blocking fool.
Yeah, he's doing a great job, and he's one of those guys. He said it a lot to us, even though he's not at his peak. physical level or performance anymore. He just knows how to get into people, and he talked a lot about leverage and torque and angles. So a lot of good stuff to learn from.
Yeah. Your tight ends coach said that he 100% believes you could play in the NFL. What does it mean to I guess, get to know him now, because it's a whole new squad, and just hearing that and knowing that you've got the backing of your coaching staff, you got to get there.
Yeah, that's been the story the last 3 years. I felt like it means a lot to hear those words, because you don't always hear those words, and they don't have to say that stuff. So it kind of represents what work I put in. But it's been kind of the story the last 3 years, because I felt like I could play. Yeah. They told me I could play, but yeah, the time just hasn't come, but it will eventually. So as I said, I'm working hard to get ready, and when the opportunity arises, that I am ready.
You got a new head coach this year, Jonathan Gannon, and he also had high praise for your performance. What would you say is the biggest change between now his regime in his first year?
I thought about this a lot, and I don't know if it's because it's his first year, and I never experienced the first year of Kingsbury, but the biggest change for me from what I experienced is the willingness to make mistakes. I don't know. I feel like it's a more the culture and the climate in the facility is more like, we are here to teach you. The people we have, we want to make better. Obviously, there's going to be some changes in the roster and stuff like that, but the people we have in this room, we want to make better, and we want to teach him, coach him. So I feel like that's been a big thing also between players. I just feel the culture around like learning and getting better changed. And as I said, I don't know if it's because it's the first year and expectations weren't that high, but I thought that was really good. Also, he has a really good feel of how to talk to the team and how to get the team together. I felt like even in the last week, we were connected as a team. We were trying to win every game, even though people said it doesn't matter anymore. And I think that's an accomplishment for the head coach, because that's really what he's trying to do. I think he's just a good person as a leader, and the culture he put in I like it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Sticking with that, what about a guy like Kyler Murray? It seemed like when he came back from his injury, he was working a lot with the practice squad guys more than the active roster, at least during the open portion that I could see every day. Yeah. How was it? Did you get any more time than you usually got with him? And how was it just kind of seeing him from afar just kind of get back to his status?
Yeah, no, that is true. I think he had like a period where he practiced already but didn't play 2 weeks or something, and that's where he took all the reps with the scout team. I never had that many reps with Kyler. I had a couple in preseason with him and the years before, but never a 2-week period, only Kyler. So that was cool, and it's interesting how you can see the difference, how quick or easy you can feel and see the difference between him and other quarterbacks. Even though it's just cards, he just knows when to put the ball somewhere, and the timing is just better. The balls are probably more catchable most of the time. So yeah, it's just a different level, and it's good to experience. And yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah.
What would you say you learned the most from that 2-week period with Kyler?
I feel like what I learned the most is just expecting the ball a little sooner, because I think that's what a good quarterback does. He just throws the ball whenever, on time. Sometimes in scout team it's hard to do that because you don't know the timing of the play, because it's not your play most of the time. But yeah, he did a good job of that. I think that's what I learned the most. Yeah.
And what about your fellow tight end, Trey McBride? How about seeing that?
Trey
seeing his
McBride.
whole season kind of come up and explode like it did. What was your thought about his campaign this year?
Yeah, no, I'm a fan of Trey. I experienced him since his rookie year, and he kind of struggled sometimes in his rookie year, which is, I guess, because it's his rookie year. But people were kind of speaking down on him, and like you could hear all different stuff about bust and stuff like that. But I knew how much work he put in and how disciplined he was. He didn't let anything of this get to his head. So I was never worried, and I knew whenever he gets a chance, he would make the most of it. And when Zach went down, he did exactly that. So I was really proud of him, because I knew he could do it, but it's another thing to actually do it right in that moment, because, yeah, who knows what happens if he doesn't catch the first ball. Right. They throw him whenever he's in there. So, yeah, I never doubted him, but I'm happy it worked out for him that way.
Did you notice maybe his confidence took another level? Was that maybe the biggest change from year one to year two?
Yes, especially once he started playing good in the second year, or this past year. You could see how he changed on the field. He was talking to the people, and he was like, "You can't guard me." So yeah, he for sure had a confidence boost, which is super important, because on a 50-50 ball, that's probably what wins you the ball. So yeah, I was happy to see that.
What did you think about his hurdling abilities?
Oh, he did that way too many times. Yeah, now he got hops, but I guess if you do it too often, nobody gets surprised by it. But
and bad things can happen if you do it too many times.
If it's his move, keep doing it, Trey.
Did you notice before the season started that he could sort of be this breakout candidate for the Cardinals?
Yeah, we all knew. He got good hands. He's fast. He's athletic. He's smart. So he had all the traits, and that's why he was the first tight end taken in that year. So we all knew he's a good tight end. He just, it just didn't work out for him yet. But we knew that once he gets a chance, he will do well, and he did exactly that. So hats off to him.
What's the when you look at the tight ends room as a whole, what's kind of the personality that you guys have?
As a whole, I don't know. I feel like we were a good mix of people, but as a whole, probably just funny. I don't know, comedians. Okay. I don't know. No, we had a good.
Who's the funniest guy in the room? Other than you.
Other than me. So the most jokes we heard from Blake.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if it were the best jokes, but most jokes from Blake. Yeah, I would say Blake is pretty funny. Coach is actually pretty funny too.
Okay.
So yeah, no, but it was a relaxed group. You could talk about anything, and cool. I feel like we were super tight this year, which is the most important thing about any position group, I feel like.
Yeah, 100%. Well, I think we got to talk a little bit of NFL playoffs. You want to talk some playoffs? Mm-hmm. Who you got? Let's start with the AFC Championship game first. We got Baltimore, Kansas City.
Well, I got Baltimore.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. I don't know. I feel like Baltimore looks super strong the last weeks.
Yep.
So it's going to take a lot to beat them. I know it's Patrick Mahomes, but I'm sorry on this one. But I feel like the Ravens are just really good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And how about the NFC side of things?
Niners, a team you know pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the Lions.
Yeah. I think that's a closer one. I don't know. The Niners been struggling a little bit the last couple of weeks. The Lions just been steamrolling people, but slowing down a little bit too the last couple of weeks. So I think it's going to be interesting. But if the Lions can keep it going, they could make it. But have you guys heard about this conspiracy thing with the colors on the logo?
Yes.
So if you believe that, it's gonna be 49ers Ravens, right?
Yep,
so yeah, I'm gonna go with that. Yeah, but I could see the Lions win it too.
Because what, it's been the last like 2 years, it's been the same colors as the
last 2 or 3, something like that. But yeah, I would like to see the Lions because Seiko just went there. So I would like to have him on another Super Bowl. But yeah, let's see if the conspiracy theories right.
Yeah, right. Do you talk to Zach a lot?
Not anymore. No, when he was here, we talked a little bit, but yeah, not as much right now.
Okay. And then big game. If you're saying what, you're gonna put Lions and Ravens together, or are you going Niners?
I'm going Niners.
Okay.
He's leaning into
big
the
conspiracy.
Okay, yeah, you're
big
a
conspiracy
guy.
Yeah.
All right, who's it gonna be at the big game then?
I still have the Ravens.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like. Yeah,
Lamar's
Ravens.
Just Lamar.
Yeah, not just Lamar. Their defense is really good. The offense, he has a lot of weapons. Likely's playing really good. I don't know, the way they're playing, the way they're confident right now, as we talked about, it's just different. I feel like the 49ers have been struggling a little bit, but it's the playoffs, it's a Super Bowl. Anybody can win. It's going to be a tight game for sure, and we'll see. But I would like to win Lamar one, so we'll see.
Yeah. What do you have planned for the game?
I don't know if I'm going to be there. If not, I'm just going to be here enjoying the game, having good food, hopefully, and good company. But yeah, laid back, nothing crazy.
Pig's legs?
Any what?
Pig's legs.
Oh, no, I haven't seen them around here. Maybe some chicken wings and stuff like that, yeah.
Who's, would you go to like a teammate's house or something? Who's got the best spread for if you go hang out with anybody on the team?
The best spread of food?
Spread of food, spread of anything, house, whatever it is.
Oh, I watched the game at Jeff's. We had good food. I brought some food. He had some food.
What'd you bring?
I brought some schnitzel. that was Thanksgiving, and I felt like I had to bring something, and I brought some schnitzel. It wasn't the best though, because I couldn't find. You know how you have to find like super thin sliced meat. I couldn't find it, and I couldn't cut it really good myself. So we didn't have the premium Viennese schnitzel, but it was alright. They liked it. They enjoyed it. Yeah.
Looking forward to next season, the NFL has expanded their international games. Do you think that gives people in your position more opportunity to come over to the States and be introduced to football?
Yes, for sure. Because it's always different if you see an NFL game or a local game. It's just so different. I haven't experienced myself because I wasn't back home when they had the Germany games, and I never got to see a London game. But I just heard the streets are filled with like NFL merch, and like they put their houses there and bring mascots over and their broadcasters and stuff like that. So it's just like a big media event, and the people are just flowing there. And the more people know about football, the more people are gonna gravitate to playing football. So I think that's really important. But it's also just the first step, because at the end of the day, you need some actual help with building teams, building youth teams, telling them how to do stuff, maybe bringing coaches over and stuff like that. So there's more to that, but what else can they do than have more international games? That's a really good thing they want to do there.
Do you think in the next 5 years we'll be talking about more international players in the NFL?
I strongly believe so, yes. Yeah, we have a good league going on back home, which is trying to bring together all of Europe. So it's the best teams of Europe and not just any country. Because in Europe you have a lot of countries, almost like states over here. So if you have only the countries, it's one good team, two good teams per country usually, and the rest just isn't as good. So if you bring Europe together, it's a lot of good teams and the competition rises. And maybe if the NFL decides to put some money into this league, it could be a better version of NFL Europe back in the day, because it's more homegrown players than actual American players. But yeah, it's a long road. I don't know about 5 years. I hope there's going to be more people over here. But I hope in the long run, 10, 15 years, there's going to be some draft picks out of Europe, just like the NBA. And I feel like those are the big goals, that the homegrown leagues, that you don't have to come over here, that you just play back home. The coaching is so good, the competition is so good that you just translate to over here. That'd be amazing. I don't know if it's going to happen in 15 years, but that's what I wish for the future.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I've got one more for you, man, and then we'll get you out of here, let you get back to the offseason, let you enjoy the off time. What kind of jump can this Cardinals team make next year, given the pieces you've got now, the pieces you might be adding in the offseason, who you've got as a head coach, as a GM, all of that, what you've seen this past year? Where do you think this team can go next year?
Well, I feel like I said it last year too. I feel like we are a really good team. I feel like so many games we lost by such a little margin. If some of those early in the season turn out to be on our favor, the whole season could be different. Because you have to win those games in the league if you want to be in the playoffs or anything. And sometimes you win them, sometimes you don't. But I felt like we were really close this year, which I think is remarkable anyways, because we had the whole rebuild and stuff. Yeah. And Kylo wasn't playing half the year. So I don't know. I feel like we could win 10 games, but at the end of the day we'll have to see if we win those close ones. But I think we are a really good team, and it's on us to prove or to play good football. Cool.
Lauren, anything else from you?
No, thank you for coming on.
All right, I think that's going to do it for us. Seiko, thank you again for jumping on, man. We really appreciate it. It was a great time chatting with you. Once again, Tyler Drake right here, Lauren Koval, Seiko. You can follow the Cardinals Corner podcast at AZ Cards Corner on Twitter or X. You can follow Lauren at Koval_Lauren. You can follow me at TDrake for Sports. Seiko, yours is just B Seikovits, right?
Bernhard.Seiko.
Okay, there we go. So make sure you follow this guy and keep it locked on the Arizona Sports app, arizonasports.com, 98.7, as we keep bringing you more and more offseason coverage of the Cardinals and every other Arizona sports team you can think of. And for Cardinals Corner, I'm Tyler Drake.